But now we are gonna get into a bit of my spin on a hot dog. Now, as is clear by everything I've said today, I love a hot dog. But I also love food mashup. So I'm gonna combine my all-time fave, a hot dog, with another one of my all-time faves, a soft pretzel. Yeah. That's right, I am making pretzel dogs. So essentially, instead of having a bun, we're gonna wrap that little doggy in a soft pretzel, and it's gonna be so good. So, I know, I'm very excited about it. The first thing we're gonna do is get to work on the actual pretzel dough. So pretzel dough, it's actually pretty simple to make. This only makes enough for 6 of those pretzel dogs. You could double it if you want. But in a bowl here, I've got 1 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. If you wanted, you could use bread flour, but all-purpose works absolutely perfectly for this recipe. In there, I have got about a teaspoon of instant dry yeast. Now with instant dry yeast, you don't have to dissolve it in liquid first. You can mix it right into the dry ingredients. I've also got half a teaspoon of salt in there. That's gonna season up the dough and be beautiful. So I'm gonna give that a little bit of a mix up just to bring it all together. And then I'm gonna make a little bit of a well in the center. Essentially, the simple step that makes things easier in the long run. Now, for the liquid ingredients, I have got a 1/4 cup of warm milk. You want the milk to be warm because essentially yeast is sleeping right now. It's dormant. We wanna wake it up, and just like me in the morning, I want a warm little beverage to wake me up, get me ready for the day. So that milk is gonna help that, but I'm also going in with a 1/4 cup of warm water. Now, the combination of milk and water is really nice. I like it in my pretzels. The milk gives you a really nice kind of tenderness, a little bit of sweetness, but the water gives you that good chew, which is absolutely perfect. Now, obviously, we need some butter because I'm making it, so we're gonna put butter in it. So, tablespoon of melted butter goes right on in as well. Now, if you wanted, you could even put like molasses in here. That might be nice, but I like the honey. It gives a nice little flavor, really, really tasty, and it gives that kind of sweet flavor of a soft pretzel. So about a tablespoon of that, if you can squeeze it out of the bear. Okay, there we go. This is a really tough bear. All right. Now I am gonna stir this together just until this forms a shaggy dough. That's all you need for this pretzel. The only thing I feel like you might have to go out and buy is that yeast, but if you aren't gonna make a lot of dough, just buy it in those little sachets, those little packs. They come in 3s. They have about 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast in there, so use about half of that in this. If you do like making things, or you're just like, yo, I'm making pretzel dogs all summer, I suggest buying the jar. That'll be perfect. Now you just wanna stir that into a nice dough until it comes together in your bowl. Once it's holding together, you want to turn that out onto a well-floured work surface and start giving it a bit of a knead. When you're kneading the dough, essentially what you're doing is you're just developing that gluten and stretching it out. That gluten kind of forms a little bit of a net that catches all the bubbles that those yeast make when they wake up, and technically they're burping, but that's what gives you the bubbles in bread. So it's delicious. Don't think about it too hard, it's all good. Now I'm gonna set that aside, and what I would do once I kneaded that dough is pop it into a lightly greased bowl. Cover it up, and then you wanna set it aside to rise for about an hour. Now I don't know about you, but right now in my house, it's cold. I got that AC on, which is delightful. Yeast doesn't like that AC. So what I suggest is using your oven. So I've got my dough in my oven on the proofing setting. That keeps the oven at a really low temperature, so low that I can actually touch it with my hands. If you don't have a proofing setting on your oven, you can just pop this into your oven and just turn the light on. That'll warm it up enough, keep it nice and stable, and absolutely perfect. If you're making this in the winter, your house is probably warm enough, so you're good to go. So I'm just gonna uncover that. And as you can see, that dough that was about this size when it went into the oven has doubled in size. It's way bigger, all that yeast has done work, and it's blown up, and it looks perfect. So now I'm gonna punch this now, which is my favorite thing in the world. We're gonna do a dough punch. Everybody get their fists ready? And then we're just gonna go in, you punch it, and then you give yourself a thumbs up, because that was a delight. That's my favorite thing to do. All right. Now I'm just gonna turn this dough out onto a cutting board, and I just wanna cut this into 6 equal-ish pieces. So I'm gonna go in strips, because we actually wanna roll this into nice long logs or snakes. So this is enough for 6 hot dogs. So again, 6 strips of dough. So get those set aside, feeling good, feeling delish. And then I wanna roll these into about a 12-inch or about a foot-long snake. So grab that dough, give them a bit of a roll. This is the fun part. This is the part that if I was a kid, I'd be like, Mom. Well, my mom wasn't making pretzel dogs, but if she was, I'd be like, Mom, let me do this part. All right. So you just get that nice and rolled out. Then we're gonna do something that looks really strange. You're gonna get your dog. You can use any dog you want. You want a beef dog, do a beef dog. You want a pork dog, do a pork dog. I'm going veggie dog because that's the type of dog I eat. So grab your dog and then just grab the dough and you're just gonna weirdly wrap it around the dog. And this looks weird, but it's gonna taste absolutely delicious. So just wrap it around until it's mostly covered, and that is looking delightful. Set that aside on a parchment-lined sheet pan, and you wanna let those rise for about 15 to 20 minutes just to give them a little bit more of that puff. I've got some over here that are already doing their thing. They've risen just a titch, and now we're gonna poach them. When you were making pretzels, if you baked these as is, this would be delicious, but it would be more like a bun. To get that chewy golden brown exterior, you need to poach them in a solution that's kind of basic or alkaline. So typically, a soft pretzel is made using lye, but lye is terrifying and it's a chemical, and we're not gonna use it because it has one of those skull and crossbones on it, and I'm not a scientist. So we're gonna actually just use baking soda. Baking soda is really basic, so it brings the pH level down on that water and gives you that golden brown Maillard reaction that you want on a soft pretzel. So I've got 6 cups of water in here, just set to a simmer, and I'm gonna add in 6 tablespoons of that baking soda. Now, this is a thrill to do because it all bubbles up. If you have a dirty pot, this is also my secret to cleaning out a dirty pot. Baking soda water is absolutely perfect. I think that was 4. We're gonna say it was 4. Was that 5? You keeping me honest, audience? Okay, cool, thank you. I saw a very confident head shake over there, like a yes and nod, so we're good. So you get that in there, give it a little bit of a stir, and then you wanna pop those hot dogs right on into this liquid. This only needs about a minute to poach. It looks very strange, it's not cute, but it's gonna be delish. Let those poach, giving them a turn every few seconds. Then scatter them with a little bit of sesame seeds or any sort of thing you like on your hot dog or pretzel. Then you wanna pop those into a 450-degree oven. That's gonna get you that golden brown color that we know and love. And you wanna bake those for about 12 to 14 minutes. And you get, truly, my life's delight. Look at these little dogs. I am so excited. You want to serve these up, pop them into, they look like a pretzel, which is an absolute delight. Serve them up in a little, like a little basket, maybe with some paper. It is looking like a total dream. Now for me, I'm going in with mustard, but you could also do a little bit of ketchup, just a little drizzle right on top. And that, my friends, is a pretzel dog. You're welcome, world. I love a mashup food. It is Hot Dog Nation. I am thrilled about today. Stick around because way more hot dogs when we come back.
Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.